What's all the P.M.S with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G. Think of me as your chief P.M.S cheerleader, motivating and wanting to see you win in your personal and professional life. Your connector, guiding you and bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I am your growth coach, empowerment speaker, mom, wife, Christian, and I get to serve you in doing what I am passionate about. You, sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. Thank you so much for listening in. We are in episode 47, and today we are talking about overcoming, shifting your narrative. Often we are faced with many challenges in our life and even in our business, but we must choose to go through to overcome. So maybe your overcome is self doubt. Maybe it's fear or negativity, guilt, failure, procrastination, loss, and age. Yes, I said age because sometimes we have to overcome that obstacle too. So I want to share, something that the way I see challenges. Challenges are what makes life interesting. You may say, how is that interesting? Challenges. But it's often something that gets our attention. And through that, we actually learn from it. Didn't say it feel good, but we learn from it. And then overcoming is what makes it meaningful. Now, out of that challenge that we were faced with, we go through it, we overcome it, and now it serves as meaning and purpose in our lives. So we are going to focus on those particular overcoming obstacles when we talk about self doubt and fear, negativity, guilt, failure, procrastination, loss, and age. We're going to talk about each one of those briefly. So maybe you're overcoming is self doubt. Are you constantly questioning your self worth? A lack of self confidence, which causes you also to linger in your comfort zone. So maybe you can identify with that. Maybe, it's always about let's identify where we are so we can grow into our next and we can go into our next. But often we have to identify what are those things, what are those gaps, what in that between where I am to where I'm going is stifling me. So that's why we talk about shifting the narrative. We have to shift our thoughts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then we talk about fear. You know, Sometimes that fear is the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of loneliness, the fear of what does somebody else think about your decisions, your life, what you're doing, what you're not doing. And we know, there are so many acronyms that I know I've come across in when we hear fear, but the one I want to point out is false evidence appearing real. Because fear will make you think that that's just real, that's a fact, and it's not. The word fear um, is actually a word that cripples us from moving forward and even expressing our true desires. Let's just say it's so sucking. Imagine fear sucking the inside. Fear is a thief because it robs you of the inheritance you already hold. And then we talk about negativity. Negativity literally absorbs your energy and it messes with your mindset. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, when we really talked about decluttering your mind and being more mindful, putting yourself in the present moment, that I advise you to go back and listen to that. I encourage you to do that. But in negativity, we tend to react to negative stimuli. So, think about negative things more than we do positive. But when you allow yourself to feed on negativity, that grows and that begin to frame your thoughts, frame your narrative. But in order for you to reset, refocus, navigate or navigate into a different direction, it's your choice. So you have a choice. And then there's guilt. Guilt often is an emotional response stemming from reflection on yourself. You feel guilt of maybe a certain action of something you said. So it can often be self-inflicted. Even if someone makes you feel that way, you have internalized that feeling. So guilt will weigh you down. You have to attach yourself to it. And not that you have to attach yourself to it. Let me reframe that. You have attached yourself to that guilt because of something you did or something you think you did, or sometimes it's even something you did not do. But guilt will make you feel that way. And even in times that you may think, you are not enough or you didn't do enough to help someone, or you're not you can do better than what you've done. So, guilt is like that heavy weight weighing you down. And then failure. Sometimes we look at failure as dead end. Oh, I fell short. Oh, lack of success. And even failure can distort your perception. It can make you feel hopeless. But often we have to think about failure in a sense of failing forward, as I like to say. Failure is not falling down, but refusing to get up. Then you have procrastination. Often we see this as, sometimes just maybe laziness. But then it could also be that perfectionist in you that causes you to procrastinate. I always tell you when I'm raising my hand, when I know that that's in my lane, I have often procrastinated. I had to identify, and even sometimes even in my journey now, I have to recognize and be aware that, oh wow, I'm allowing the perfectionist in me, or wanting everything to be so right, allow me to stay or not move. You know, Often, words that we may use when we are in that procrastination state is like, oh, I'll do it later. Oh, it's someday. Oh, tomorrow, next week. First, I have to do this. No, oh, I'm just too tired. Okay, next year. Okay, but I'm going to ask you a question. If not now, when? When, when you say when, it's actually specifically setting a date and a time that you want to see that thing to happen, that goal, that achievement, that accomplishment to happen. And if you listen to, last week again, we talked about setting small goals. Maybe it's this big goal, but take bite sizes, take little steps, even if it's just that few minutes or for that moment to chip away at that gap, chip away at that procrastination. And then you have loss. Loss often, there is a feeling of discomfort or suffering that we sometimes have to overcome. And sometimes it's not always, an easy process. But again, when we talked about at the beginning, challenges are what makes life interesting, and overcoming is what makes them meaningful. When we're faced with that challenge, when we're faced with that loss, maybe it was loss of a job, or loss of a loved one, and sometimes we get in a space that we feel like, oh, I can't, but you must choose to go through and allow yourself to begin to shift the narrative. And we're going to talk about that. And then that last one, age. Oh, man, that's like the time of life, right? I don't know if there's a song from long time ago. I don't know what year. It might have been the 80s or 90s. I don't know, probably 90s or something. And it was a song by Leah when she said, "Age ain't nothing but a number." And often we've heard that as a statement. And if we think of age, again, it's a time of life. We don't know our time or hour or day. So who's to say that 32 is old, because you may live to be 105. So you still have life, ahead of you. And who's to say 70 is old? Because you may still have that 30 something more years to go. So it's all a time of life. And there are some examples that I want to share. If you think of J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, she was 32 after going through a round of rejections before her first book was published. Then you have Susan Boyle. She was 47 when she finally went viral from Britain's Got Talent. Then you have Grandma Moses, who didn't begin her painting career until age 76. And then Vera Wang, she designed her first dress at the age of 40. And then Shonda Rhimes, producer, director, and screenwriter, found her success at the age of 35 with the series Grey's Anatomy. Of course, we can go on and on with stories, but it's just the fact that it's never too late or too early. So let's just talk about, when we talk about overcoming and shifting your narrative, I want to share 4 P.M.S tips in that arena of how we can shift our narrative. One of the first things is just let go of the stories that doesn't serve you well anymore. If that story does not align with where you're going, put it in the trash. Remove it from your mental database. Remove it from your space and rewrite that story, because that is, again, when we go through challenges, or overcome challenges, those are just points of lessons, not saying that that is who you are. What you did, that's who you are. I often say we are not our circumstances. So maybe sometimes when we've grown up, maybe it was an environment we were in, and no, now we say, okay, I can never have that because I've never been exposed to what this person has been exposed to. So now you have to start letting go of those stories that does not serve or align with you, your life, in the direction that you're going. And then be intentional. Be intentional of exploring what is in your favor. We have to be intentional about the actions we take, intentional about what we don't allow again in our space. Because when you talk about shifting your narrative, sometimes we have to let go of old things because old things are passed away and we have to look ahead to what lies ahead. And that is where, again, what is before me? What do I desire? What are those desires in my heart? What do I see as that favor in my life? And then begin to intentionally explore and experiment in those areas of your life. And then you have to detach. You just have to let it go. Do you remember that famous movie Frozen with Elsa, and she would sing that song, Let It Go? Can't hold it anymore. And that's what you have to do. You have to choose to let go of the negative narratives and move forward and realize that your failing has nothing to do with what your success of what you are or what you can and what you cannot do. Instead of, saying, I'm a failure, you say, I succeed in everything I do. I am a success. And begin to, again, rewire that mindset and things that try to enter that does not align with positive thoughts, positive things in your life and what you want around you as you grow in your life and business. You have to let it go. And then that last one is just engage in positive self reflection. Because you know what? It empowers your personal and professional growth. Allow yourself to be in awareness. Take time to do an inventory of yourself. Take time to do an inventory of your thoughts. Stop and actually be in that moment in the power of self-reflection. Because sometimes we don't want to maybe look in the mirror. But look in the mirror, write it down, see it, but see that thing as a learning and a growth opportunity instead of one that actually makes you feel like you want to disengage from your own life. No, engage, but engage in a positive way and allow yourself to feed yourself with positive self reflection. And so, with all that being said, I again thank you for listening. I ask you to, share your comments, subscribe, rate, follow. We're in 2023. We're all about shifting, disrupting the norm, shifting the atmosphere. And you know what? That's where some of those things start. Is it the all in all? No, but it's somewhere to start. And we have to start somewhere. And you know what? Growth starts with you. And maybe you're at a place now that you're saying, okay, this is the year. This is the year. What did we just talk about? That procrastination and saying, oh, I'll do it later. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it next week. You know what? If not now, when? Now is your time to just say, you know what? I need a coach. I get to have a coach in my life to help me to experience the fullness of the things that I want to see grow in my life. And that's what I'm here for, as one-on-one coaching, group coaching, empowerment speaking. And all you have to do is go to the website, gstylecoaching.com, or better yet, you're in it, you're listening, it's in the show description. Click the link. Let's win together. Let's go ahead and thrive. Let's go ahead and bridge the gap from where you are to your what's next. Let's identify where those gaps are so you can grow into a better version of yourself in your life and in your business. So in the meantime, in saying all of that, Until next time, sisters, let's keep growing because it all starts with you.